to this concept of a balanced diet. So macronutrients, they provide essentially all of the energy and most of the raw material for body repair and synthesis. They include carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, which biochemically we call lipids. The micronutrients, like I said, are the vitamins and minerals. And then the energy, your energy should be balanced in and out. If you have an energy balance in your diet, you will maintain your weight. If your energy is not balanced, your weight will either go up or down. Okay, so you can tell if you're in energy balance with your food, if your weight stays the same from day to day. Okay, and so what we're going to do again here in this unit now going forward is look at each of these in detail from a chemical point of view and try to understand the concept of a balanced diet and good nutrition from this chemical viewpoint. So we're going to shift over to looking at first the major elements that comprise the biochemicals, and then the types of molecules that exist in these different groups of biochemicals. Okay, so first off, what are the major elements in the human body that group together to form these macro and micro parts of what we call us? This particular table shows the element, of course, the symbol for the element, the grams per 100 gram of body mass, so that's going to add up to be 100, and the relative, nearly 100, because there's some micro things that aren't on here, and then the relative abundance per million atoms in the body, in other words, parts per million. Okay, and so the element, whoops, oh my goodness, the element that exists the most mass is oxygen, but the most individual atoms is hydrogen. Okay, just because hydrogen is so much lighter than oxygen. But hydrogen and oxygen make up the majority of the elements in the body as far as individuals in parts per million. And that's because the body, remember, is 60% water. Okay, and that's H2O. So 60% water. And then the next element in number is carbon. Second in mass, third in number is carbon. Carbon is the major element in all biochemicals. So in the biochemicals, we would call, in the context of nutrition and macronutrients, the carbs, the fats or lipids, and the proteins are made mostly of carbon. Okay, and then carbs are just carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Fats, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. And dietary wise, some lipids in the body also contain some phosphorus. We'll talk about that later. And proteins, mostly carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. So mostly carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Whoops. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Okay, so that's why we have so much carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen in our body, and then next would be nitrogen because of the proteins. Then we get down to the elements that would be considered micro: calcium, phosphorus, chlorine, potassium, sulfur, sodium, and magnesium. And phosphorus, you may know, is a major component of the energy molecule ATP that's running around providing energy for metabolism, and also in the backbone of DNA, which we probably won't have time to talk about this year. Potassium is a major intracellular ion, sodium a major extracellular ion, and you see sodium showing up on the food label because sodium is, we get so much sodium from processed foods, very heavy in sodium processed foods, whereas potassium mostly in our diet we're getting from fresh fruits and vegetables. Okay, so if you have a diet that has no fresh fruits and vegetables but a lot of processed foods, then you could put yourself at risk for high blood pressure because the body the kidneys are working overtime to try to flush out that sodium, to try to keep your sodium and potassium in a proper balance, to keep the osmotic pressure correct across your cells and whatnot. Okay, so it's real important to keep your salt types balanced. All right, so we'll explore these in detail when we look at the molecules and understand the difference between a macronutrient, micronutrient, vitamins, minerals, and even some of these other obscure elements that are used as what we call coenzymes